Well, today we have quite an interesting video for the channel, and we are back on my phone because we're going to be taking a look at Survival Manual right now on Linux Lounge. Well, this is a bit of a different program for the channel. Today we're going to be looking at an open source program called Survival Manual, and true to its name, this is a manual that will teach you how to survive that you can run on your phone. Now, it seems like a bit of a weird thing to cover for a technology channel, I know, but trust me, it's a great piece of open source software. If you want to get a little bit Bear Grylls with your phone, that is. Now, I don't really have a use for this app, however, it's really fun to just kind of flip through and, read the categories and whatnot, and, if you really were in a survival situation, as unlikely as that is, this app could probably save your life. Now, let's go ahead and just open it. And here you see the sort of interface, very sort of clean, modern, etc. If we go into the settings, you can actually change the theme to day, night, or whatever your system uses. Now, this is quite handy because if you have like an AMOLED display, well, if you set it to the dark mode, you have more battery, and of course, with a survival manual, you're probably going to be able to, you're going to want to read it for as long as you can. So, if we just go ahead and take a look at the app itself, you see that we have a list of categories. All of these contain, of course, different categories of how to survive, and you have an appendix at the bottom with all sorts of other useful information. Now, as for the actual information, it's very well split up into different categories, and it's all quite relevant. But if you can't find specifically what you're looking for, if you go into the settings and turn on the search function, well then theoretically you should be able to find what you're looking for. So let's say we want to find something on animals, and there we go. You can see all of the information on animals. However, what I will say about this particular survival manual is most of the things in here do seem to be aimed more at sort of military audience. However, that's not to say that the information is bad, because it isn't. In fact, I can sort of prove what I mean by that, because as you can see, there's a lot of information on hostile areas, man-made hazards, etc. There's also a lot of information about how you wouldn't want to light fires in, enemy territory and that sort of thing. However, this is still relevant to the civilian survivor, I guess you could say. Now, if we're to just go ahead and quickly look at the introduction, you can see that they sort of introduce themselves, and you can see that it's based off the FM 305.70 field manual, which is now a wiki. Now, if that means anything to you, there it is, but, it's based on proven work, I suppose. You can also see that they're looking for help. You can see that they've got their GitHub, as you can see, it's GPL3 license. They have an FAQ, they have credit, and you can support them if you find this app to be useful, which I always advise that, if you find an open source program useful, it can never hurt to give them a bit of money. And I say, if we're to go through the categories, as you can see, they're all very relevant. And if we're to just randomly pick a category, so let's say we want to look at stuff about the sea, we can see you've got like a little description at the top here, and you have all sorts of survival information. And what I find to be particularly sort of interesting and would probably be useful is they have all like little diagrams and stuff, so you can not only read what they're talking about but also see it too. If we're to go down, the appendix is quite useful too. There's lots of information about various insects, and as every survivor will need, there's useful about information about how to tie knots and stuff. So if you want to learn to tie knots and you weren't a Boy Scout or something, well, that's quite handy to have. And of course, there's an FAQ at the end. There's all sorts of quite interesting stuff in there. So, all in all, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this app. There's not a massive amount of stuff to say, but what I will say is this is probably one of my favourite open source apps, just because it's so interesting. Now, if you want this, you can find it on the Google Play Store, or better yet, you can download it from the F-Droid store, which is a repository for free and open source Android apps. And that's pretty much all I've got to say about this app. It's quite interesting to flick through. If you want to feel a little bit Bear Grylls, it's good for that. But that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Also, if you want to support the channel, consider going to my link in the description to follow me on LBRY, which is a YouTube alternative. If you're on LBRY already, consider leaving a tip. But I think that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.